After having used the previous questions to evaluate the BBC Learning English webpage, we have spotted some weaknesses and strengths that can be placed under the categories already mentioned.
Regarding implementation and user information, researchers such as Murray, Barnes, and Hammer have discussed how a web page should respond to user expectations and needs. BBC Learning English provides the users with rich opportunities to interact with the target language, which is the end of a user who wants to improve his language skills. BBC Learning English website uses this kind of multi-skill activities in which students can read and listen at the same time.
In this sense, BBC is clearly targeting young adult users. Another strong feature of this website is its likelihood for adaptation into different learning environments. As Murray and Barnes state, websites should give users the flexibility to adapt its content for varied learning situations.
BBC Learning English exercise and task design let users exploit its content either independently or with total or partial guidance. Unfortunately, this guidance might not be pedagogically grounded because, as Kessler in Compton explains, most of the technology training teachers receive is not necessarily on using technology for pedagogical purposes. This page is not the exception. Although there is a section for teachers, it does not provide teachers with the required advice to implement the website in their teaching practice. The following 2 pages show us the kind of activities teachers are more likely to find in this webpage. As you can clearly observe, these activities can help teachers to improve their methodological skills. However, do not lead them in the use of technology, or at least in the use of this website in their classes.
In addition to the interaction between the implementation of a website and the kind user it aims at, interface design plays an important role in the user's decisions to employ it. A remarkable paper on how interface design impacts what users find appealing in a website is the one written by Hughes, Macavinia, and King. According to them, today's generation belongs to a visual culture. Thus, web page designers should be aware of the importance of the visual features of a site for language teaching and learning.
We can clearly see in this image the role of pictures and images that they have on the design of a web page, or at least on the design of this web page. Fonts, colors, and images are among the aspects that we evaluated from BBC website. It contains attractive, eye-friendly colors and pictures, as well as a kind of font that might be appealing for young adults. Another aspect regarding design is the layout. This web page is neatly organized, and it is easy to identify and access the different sections users can employ for studying. Hammer mentions another aspect that should be revised in this web page: the availability of all applications for navigating freely. BBC mainly uses 4 applications for displaying its content: PDF readers, MP3 and MP4 audio files, and YouTube. Since these applications are of common use among people, they should not represent any problem. However, this might be seen as a weakness for users whose internet access is restricted for some sites such as YouTube.
A different element that goes along with the layout is the way in which the content of the site is pleasantly presented. Researchers such as Figura, Harvis, and Hughes have mentioned the role of humor in the way content is displayed. Our webpage has a spark of this feature when presenting some of the sections with cartoons that, despite they are not targeted at children, give the fun ingredient to the site.
The Flatmates is a kind of animated YouTube sitcom in which the learners are exposed to new expressions and different situations in which they are in touch, they interact with the language in a funny way. The last category for evaluation is L2 learning tasks. A primary feature for learning tasks is authenticity. According to Murray and Barnes, language input in websites should be as native-like as possible, not only in terms of grammatical accuracy, but also in terms of suprasegmental features in phonology, such as intonation, sentence and word stress, connected speech, and so forth. BBC English Learning webpage contains most of these positive aspects, inductive and deductively. It gives its users sections where they can learn and practice grammar and pronunciation deductively.
In addition to this, there are always opportunities to learn how the language is used in real-life situations through videos, readings, blogs, and so forth. Within tasks, instructions are of paramount importance. Lai, Zhao, and Li discuss this angle of a task design in Compton's paper. They state that instructions should be clear in order to fully understand what is expected and successfully achieve the task's goal. Regarding instructions in this webpage, they are not always written in the task due to the nature of the task itself. It means in these cases instructions must be inferred by the user. What this might mean, a big challenge for those whose language level and computer skills are not high enough to understand what they are expected to do.
A clear example of this is the creation of blogs in the webpage. Users are invited to participate as monthly bloggers. Nevertheless, for accomplishing this task, they are not given specific instructions. Opposite to this not highly recommended feature of blog writing, we have feedback. Murray and Barnes support the importance of providing feedback periodically. As a matter of fact, that is the kind of feedback given by a blog advisor that helped these bloggers in BBC to improve their writing skills, following the principles of implicit and explicit form-focused instruction. All this interaction of form and meaning reflects the features stated by the Kaiser to identify either kind of form-focused tasks.
As you must remember, the aim of this evaluation is to determine the most suitable pedagogical context, classroom-based, independent study, or online language teaching and learning in which BBC Learning English webpage may be implemented. So, thanks to the previous evaluation, we can conclude that this webpage gives users plenty of opportunities to interact with the language, mainly in an independent and online context.
Talking about implementing this webpage in a classroom, according to Compton, it is feasible as long as the teacher has the required training to do it. Although there is a section devoted to teachers in the webpage, it lacks of the necessary guidance to lead teachers into the usage of it in their domains. It is because teaching in an online environment requires the employment of pretty different strategies from the ones used in a face-to-face setting.
Well, this evaluation, besides being an assignment for our MA, is a result of the presence of technology and the crucial role it is getting in the field of teaching and learning language. We hope you find it interesting and useful. Thank you.
Thank you.